Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So for over a century, the Art Students League of New York has been dedicated to providing high-quality education and instructions in the fine arts. The institution has created a space and opportunities for aspiring artists to express themselves creatively and freely as part of the League's 125th anniversary. That's amazing. The Arts School is having a startup weekend filled with auctions, events, and a performance party. And joining us now to share more, we welcome Art Students League of New York Events Director Rachel Stader and artist Danielle Colón. Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
So, what an amazing accomplishment the school has had. I mean, 125 years. So, shall we begin with how long you've been with the organization, and I guess what drew you towards the organization?
I've been with the organization only since this past summer, but I come from a family of artists, so it felt very much like home when I walked through those doors.
Okay, so are you in the actual organization, or are you the coordinator for this particular event?
I'm in the organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
And then, well, Danielle, right? You're one of the instructors as well?
I am an instructor. I've been a student for a lot longer, though.
Really? So how long have you been a student?
I moved up to New York to go specifically to the Art Students League about 15 years ago. And I still take classes there. And I will be teaching a workshop this summer.
So you've been there long enough to give us a little insight on what this process is, right? Because I find the concept very fascinating, and just for an organization to be able to sustain themselves all these years on 57th Street, I mean, that's high real estate there. So give us a little background on how the actual process begins.
Well, I think what's really key about the Art Students League is that I mean, you have a base of really talented and knowledgeable instructors, which is what I came there for to begin with. But what I found was this really vibrant community of artists, all ages, all levels of skill, all there just really dedicated to learning their craft.
So these artists that we're referencing, are these artists that were students of the Artist League, or were they artists that just came to teach there? Like, I wonder if most of the instructors originate from the actual league itself.
I think a lot of them do. I think there's a lineage, definitely, of students to instructors. And all of the instructors there are working artists themselves. So it really is a community of artists for artists.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the genres of art, right? Would you like to share that?
Oh, yeah. So the Art Students League provides classes in drawing and painting and sculpture, printmaking, and mixed media. I think we have up to 100 classes running every month, and at different times during the day. So it's really accessible, it's really affordable, and yeah, I think, again, as Daniel said, it's for people who are coming in with all different skill levels.
It sounds like a fun school to be in.
It really is.
Well, you've been there, right? You're still there.
I mean, I think everyone really comes together. You have instructors, students, models. It really feels like a big family. And when I leave for a little while and come back, it feels like home.
So how do they pull it off when it comes to designing the schedules? Because I researched it, and I understand that people can actually they have choices. They can either go to school full time, they can go part time, they can just do a workshop. They can go to school either in the morning, in the afternoon, or the evening. I mean, I'm just like, wow, this is like a dream school for artists, right? Because artists, everybody works or becomes creative or is inspired during very different hours, and so.
Yeah. So I think, just because it was founded for artists by artists, they had that in mind. They understood that, these classes need to be something that everyone can afford. And so they've scheduled it just as you said. So everybody's artistic process is kind of different. When they wake up during the day is a little different. So they've made sure to kind of work with the instructors to provide, again, the drawing, printmaking, painting, sculpture, mixed media classes for a range of.
And so I understand we have some images of Danielle's work. Can we show that, and can we discuss that a little bit?
Sure.
I guess we can talk a little bit about your class and your art, and I guess what you've chosen here, what we're looking at.
Oh, this is a painting of.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, so
That's right.
this is a painting of a model at the Art Students League, Freddie, and this is actually done in one of the classrooms there.
Wow.
It's what a class there of this type is. That there's a big variety of classes at the Art Students League, but a figurative class like this, it's about 3 hours long. You've got a model up on a stage. He's surrounded by artists, all different skill levels, and they're all working, trying to do their best representation of the person that's standing there.
So everybody at their level is in the same room in the same class. So how does that work?
You know, I think it works really great because you get so much information shared amongst the students in addition to the instructor who's there going around giving their input, their critiques, their support, their advice, and you get this very interactive community.
And so we're looking at this image.
This is a personal painting of mine done in my studio in the South Bronx. It's a portrait of a friend from a few years ago, and it was just exploring her personality and some compositional techniques and just looking for beauty in different ways.
So is that created from an image, like a photograph, or from her?
No, this is work probably from life for the most part.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you always do it like that?
You know, I start off from life as the basis generally, and sometimes I'll take reference pictures and I'll make sketches and then kind of put everything together. But it really starts off with the experience of being in front of whatever it is I'm painting.
All right, so let's talk about the startup weekend.
Yes. Yeah, so startup is going to be taking place beginning on Friday, May 11th, down at the Art Students League on 57th Street. And again, this is in celebration of our 125th anniversary of being on 57th Street. So we know it's a very kind of can be an imposing building, but it's really very accessible. We're opening up the doors. We're inviting people to see the art that is made there. On the first night, we're having a reception and auction, kind of a fundraiser for us.
And that's on
Friday, May 11th.
May 11th,
yes.
right? So it starts then.
Yes.
And that
yes.
time?
From 7 to 10.
7 to 10.
Yeah.
And anybody can attend?
Yes, it's a ticketed event, so tickets start at $250. It's a fundraiser.
Right.
And we're working with Paddle 8, an online auction company, to present an auction of our instructor work. Again, people who are internationally recognized artists. And then next day, we will be hosting an open house, open studios event. And that is something that is really accessible to everyone. Tickets are $15 for adults, 10 for children.
And that one starts at?
Starts at 11 a.m.,
Okay.
runs until 3 p.m. And this is where our instructors and our students are pulling together, and they are presenting drop-in workshops and demos and some talks and tours of the building to kind of illustrate all the different things that happen there at the League. So it's completely open. All 5 floors are accessible. We encourage people to come down and try their hand at art.
And then is there a closing party?
There is, yes.
That's the one, I guess, that popped out for me.
Yes, that's a fun one. Back in the day, the Art Students League used to host these crazy events called the Dream Ball. And they used to be hosted at the Waldorf Astoria for like 4,000 people. And being art students, you know, they would get dressed up, they would make their costumes. There would be a huge parade associated with it. And we're hoping, you know, we know this may not, you know, quite be that, but we're going to encourage people to dress in costume and come and enjoy, you know, some dancing, some drinking, some, again, the festivities will include the exhibitions and the auction, so they can take part in that too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. And Daniel, you have a studio here before we go, right? You said you have a studio?
I do. I've lived in the Bronx for 11 years now. I came up here and to live and work, and I love it here. I would not want to be anywhere else in New York City.
All right, we got a BX artist boy in the house. Thank you for coming here, sharing with our viewers.
Thank you for having us.
Daniel, Rachel, once again, you guys, for more information on the Art Students League of New York and their startup weekend, visit artstudentsleague.org. We are taking a quick break, but when we return, we sit down with Mexican jazz singer Kimberly Fergie. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.